I guess we should start this off by introducing ourselves. So I'll go first. I am Akuma Soul, the beloved and the greatest otaku to ever exist. Thank you.
Well, I, of course, am the host of the show, Felix656, or also known as Incognegro, also known as, no, I'll stop.
Also known as the man who ruined many game communities.
Hi, it's your boy Hawkwing, also known as Lil Microwave, also known as Hawkaiser. Follow my new YouTube for Xenoverse 2 gameplay, Blaze Blue.
Alright, too much.
You're actually lying.
Y'all ain't gonna let me get the
welcome to
plug
the
in.
first episode. Shut the fuck.
You are actually lying.
Of the podcast. So,
Yeah,
what topics do we got today?
All right, let's. I guess we'll start off with the most obvious, and I'm considering it the most talked about thing. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people who aren't, but whatever. Anyway, Marvel vs. Capcom 4. So it looks like it's actually happening.
It hasn't been
I guess.
officially announced yet.
It hasn't officially.
There's been an
yet.
image going around, but that's like I'm pretty sure that's fake. It's a mock-up.
The image itself isn't what's important. It's the fact that high-ranking members of the FGC have been
You mean
reporting
high-ranking
it.
members of NeoGAF?
NeoGaf and people who run Evo.
I don't know. I mean, it'll probably happen eventually, but there's always rumors every year about this kind of stuff, and until the companies themselves hint at it, it's up in the air.
Well, there was a hint. Oh, go ahead, Akuma.
No, I was going to say that it most likely is going to happen because earlier this year, I think, not Marvel, Disney shut down their game development studios, and they said that they would like to start working with other game developers to put out more Marvel games. So that's why we're getting that one PS4 Spider-Man game and that Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Did Disney really have a gaming division? Because all they did was put out. I mean, all they did was put out Disney Infinity, and that's like one game.
Well,
that's not like.
Well, Disney Interactive used to be pretty decent.
They used to make the movie games. They used to make the games based on the movies.
Well, that and Spectrobes. And I know. I know. Okay, I'm the only person in the world who I think have owned every single Spectrobes game because I actually really like that. I really like those games, but we're getting a bit off track. Marvel vs. Capcom 4. What? Let's say this is happening. Let's say it's happening.
All right.
So let's try to decide a likely characters who could be in. So characters we think could be in.
Well,
so which side are we going first, Capcom or Marvel?
I mean, we can't really go for. Well, if we're gonna start with Marvel, the obvious ones are like the Avengers. They're going to because the fucking Avengers are the most popular thing right now.
But which Avengers?
It's gonna have
see
Iron Man, and it's gonna be Riri.
I don't think Capcom would. I don't think Marvel and Capcom would do that because if you go back all the way since the beginning, they put in Tony Stark, Peter Parker, Bruce Banner.
It's gonna be Riri, Miles Morales, gay.
I can't see
gay Iceman.
I can see them most likely doing like Hawkwing was saying. The obvious ones are Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, probably Thor again. I can't see them not putting Thor again, even though he wasn't really used. People didn't use him as much in the last game.
It won't be Thor. It will be Loki. Loki will be his representation.
One of the ones I definitely question if they'll do is Captain Marvel this time, Carol Danvers. But I would like to see they're obviously going to have a Miles Morales skin for Spider-Man because why would you make an entirely different character for that? But then again, making a clone character wouldn't surprise me.
Miles Morales
Well,
has
But
different
if they
powers.
have two Spider-Men, I would not want one of them to be Miles Morales. You already know who I want. If they're gonna be two Spider-Men,
Barack
you're gonna
Obama.
have
yeah, Barack Obama, yo,
Stop.
with the spider
Stop
powers.
immediately. No, if
And
they
his
do,
fucking taunt,
no.
his fucking taunt is he just starts fucking cutting the jig.
I mean, they could, and then he can have a hidden missiles move too. It's just like hidden drone strike.
Drone strikes coming up. No. No, but for real, if it was two Spider-Men, I would like it to be like Tatsunoko versus Capcom, where they had the giant characters, one for each company,
Uh-oh.
and you have
you want
fucking Tokusatsu Spider-Man with
Spider-Man.
Leopard on, and then on the Capcom side, a Tech Romancer character.
That would be unbalanced. Leopardon cannot lose.
Cannot be
That was
damaged.
retconned with the fucking Spider-Verse shit.
Fuck that.
Oh god, it just hit me. If they were to bring two, if they were gonna have two Spider-Man characters, it's gonna be Spider-Man Silk.
Nah. It's gonna be. I swear it's gonna be Miles Morales Spider-Man. They're not. It's not gonna be Peter Parker, and they can do it too, because then they can actually his moveset would be different, because Miles has different powers.
I think it's not gonna happen. They could never have a crossover and not have Spider-Man, Peter Parker, as like one of the main characters. The most I could see is a palette swap for Miles, but other characters, I would want to see Miss Marvel at some capacity, but I don't think she can be a fighting game character, mostly because anybody who's read Miss Marvel stuff, it's like you don't really see her fight. She solves problems with her powers, but she doesn't fight directly. She doesn't like directly fight, you know?
Yeah, well.
You want one of the ones I would like to see. I'd like to see Black Panther. I'd really like to see Black Panther.
Well, Black Panther would be same problem I have with some characters on the Capcom side is that Black Panther, while I think his design is really cool, I mean,
He doesn't have anything that will make him stand out. If anything,
yeah, nothing that would stand out
not-
about him in
he's
terms
not
of a fighting game
versus
character.
He's not a Marvel versus Capcom character because he doesn't have like number one, he doesn't have like fucking beams, and he doesn't have crazy shit like that. You want to know what I'd actually also like to see? I'd like to see an old man Logan, like if not a costume for Wolverine, just old man Logan. I'd like that.
No, I want Dawkins.
Kill yourself.
That was nice.
I would like. I want X-23 back, but I don't honestly see it ever happening. And I would like her to have her Wolverine costume because I like it. Think it looks cool on her. Characters who I know aren't coming back. I know Ghost Rider's probably not coming back. Even if he does, it's going to be Robbie Reyes and not
Johnny.
Blaze.
Well, you know what they did with Marvel 3 is they just took all the upcoming movies they had planned and they just took characters from that for advertising purposes. So I would imagine they would do the same thing in Marvel 4.
I would really like Star-Lord to be in, and not like movie Star-Lord, because I do like movie Star-Lord, but not movie Star-Lord. I'd like that really cool 2013 version of Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord, where he had that really cool costume where it was like blue and gold, and he had like the crazy star on the front of his face and stuff. It was really, really awesome.
Yeah.
But I would like him, but I know if anything, it's going to be Rocket and Groot.
Then for the Capcom side of things, that's actually pretty difficult as to who
For
they
the
would have had.
Well,
Capcom side of things,
Capcom, for Ultimate Marvel, I really think they're gonna pay attention to what the fans want. The top of the polls were
Gene?
Mega
and-
Man X and Gene
Yeah.
were the two highest requested characters. I think I have extreme confidence that they will be in the game. Playable characters.
Nice joke.
I have to agree with Hawkwing in truth because it's like they can't not put Mega Man in this time. If they don't do it, if they were to go without putting Mega Man in this time, that's actually like confirmation that they're saying no.
All right,
Just
that's what
flat
Mega
out, they're
Man
just
in.
saying no.
It's gonna be bad box art, Mega Man.
You won't see this face playing that fucking game if they do. Shit.
There's no way they can do that shit again.
All right, you're right. It's gonna be American cartoon Mega Man.
Enough.
Next, you're gonna say it's gonna be a comedy manga Mega Man.
No, they're gonna have a guest beck and call from Comset.
No,
Stop,
don't do
please.
that. Nobody
Let it
wants
end.
that. If
No,
hopefully we'll finally get a game with all three of the Clover main characters and
No,
With,
I don't like.
Gene,
They
Amaterasu,
should not
and
bring
Beautiful
back
Joe.
Amaterasu, and they shouldn't bring back Beautiful Joe.
What? Hold on. Now we
Short
gotta.
characters are shit. Objective.
short character. They're not that bad because it's like after a while, after fucking the game became, at least in Marvel 3, after the game became a science, like people had broken it down to a science. Amaterasu and Beautiful Joe weren't even used.
Yep.
Well, that's only because Beautiful Joe, I had some time in with that character. That was one of my mains in
You
Ultimate
can't say,
Marvel,
like,
but
he wasn't that good. Like,
he was bad. But it was little changes that they could have did that would have made him a viable character, such as making his red hot kick an OTG or giving him some more damage, actually giving him a fucking level 3. If anything, I think they need to give enough development time to Marvel vs. Capcom 4 if they are making it, because as we know, the original release for Marvel 3 was complete ass. Didn't even have spectator mode.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember when we were playing that and we just sat there trying to figure out for like 20 minutes? Hey man, how do I watch these matches? I can't see your match. All I get to do is see these two cards have fucking rock hard sex.
Yeah, it was completely awful, and I don't understand how they were able to get away with it.
I just don't get why it didn't work, but all the same. So this is one thing I want, and I feel I'm probably like the only one who would make a case for this, but no lady, no Trish, give me Nero.
I don't know.
Well, let's see. Trish definitely not. I think Trish was one of the worst additions to.
There was nothing wrong with her as a character.
I think that it was a lot. There were a lot better choices for Devil May Cry.
Like who?
Such as Virgil for one. He should have been in the base game instead of Trish. I feel Nero. Credo maybe, I don't know, but
if they bring back Dante,
anyone who was playable, really.
C4 Dante.
I would like that.
Style switching.
Well, I mean, Dante in Marvel 3 was probably the funnest character, at least as far as I know. People who played him, I didn't play him. I could never wrap my head around it. But people who actually played him said he was like the most fun character to play because he had everything.
He was definitely the most complete character. He had the most special moves in the game. He had a level 3. He had a transformation, and he had a normal super. So yeah.
He definitely was. It was.
All of his assists were good.
And you could just make your own shit up with him in terms of combos, and just felt fun to do. You just go into training mode with him, just go crazy.
Yeah, good hitboxes, good neutral game. Yeah, everything. It was one of the most complete characters in fighting games.
And he wasn't even the best character in the game. That really boggles my mind that he wasn't the best.
He didn't have any exploits. Because he was a fair character, fair and balanced and complete. Unlike his brother.
More importantly, you just brought up a good point. The main thing that they need to do, and this is just a personal thing because it killed me. It killed the game for me. Like, really did. Please make it so that this game is like at least balanced to some degree. and this is coming from somebody who plays Blaze Blue, which the fucking tier lists bounce all over the place. I don't. I'm not good at Marvel versus Capcom. That's without question. But I feel I could get more into it if it wasn't for the fact that the game just felt busted.
I will have a controversial opinion right now. Marvel will never be a balanced game. And here's why. Marvel, from its roots, was a broken game. Every game has been broken. Busted.
Objection. X-Men versus Street Fighter was perfectly fine.
Said Marvel. I'm talking about Marvel versus Capcom. The big game, Marvel versus Capcom 2, which lasted fucking longer than all the rest of them, is busted wide open. Marvel
To the
vs.
point where there's only
Capcom
4
3
characters.
Ultimate. Busted.
I
It's
think
Marvel
just 'cause they
culture
didn't
to be a
have-
busted game.
No, it's not the culture. It's just that they didn't have. For Marvel 2, they didn't apply patches because obviously that technology wasn't available to them. And for Marvel 3, they couldn't apply patches because they lost the licensing to the game. So Marvel 4 comes out, and so long as they pay their fucking taxes or whatever, they should be able to keep the game updated at least.
As long as they pay, as long as they pay Overlord Disney.
And maybe Capcom can have a game that actually lasts for its life cycle, its predicted life cycle, unlike Street Fighter V, which will definitely not last until their predicted life cycle 2020.
Nice. So, Ono, let's move on. Ono, he says that it could possibly, it being Street Fighter V, could quite possibly last until 2020. Let me read the exact quote for you. Street Fighter V is a title we're adding on to as it goes along. So we're working on it while planning ahead on the best way to develop it further. Basically, what this comes down to is the fact that Ono says that support for Street Fighter V is planned to at least 2020. So, can this game last another 4 years?
No, the game
Not
is
at the
fucking
current
dying.
rate.
It's
No.
it's
It's
fucking,
not dying. It's just, it's like, it was premature when they had to fucking C-section it, and it came out before Evo, you know, before the baby shower. What the fuck is this metaphor? The game came out too early. It didn't have enough content. They've been keeping to their word about updating the game, but they've been behind schedule ever since. Who was it? Balrog came out. They've been behind schedule with Ibuki, Juri, and Urien when it comes to those characters coming out. And
Well, that's also partially because of the game. The game has been rushed. Like every single release the game has been rushed because when I can't remember, it was either Balrog or Alex. One of those two. For some
Alex.
reason, well, yeah, he had that weird glitch where if he hits you with his V skill or V trigger, it like made it so that he could never hit you with it again at certain points. And then there was that other glitch where if you chose the character, for some reason it rolled back your opponent to a previous build of the game.
when Ibuki came out, her air throw was glitched, so it gave her fucking extra iframes when she hit the ground.
So yeah, the game has been the problem with it.
In the first place, they need to sell more copies, and that's the only way they will be able to continue. Like, selling the costumes are well and fine, because you know all those people who bought the game are going to buy those costumes, especially for the females. But
Well, I want to say this. I don't think that Street Fighter V is going to sell too many more copies than it already has.
no, it will. Like, this is what they need to do, and they did the same thing in Street Fighter 4 Vanilla. It's just add more characters, add like 2 more characters, and then re-release the game as Super Street Fighter V. It won't be like
Mm-mm.
it won't be a new version, right? It will be the same version of the game as the people who bought it. So in that respect, it will be like what they did with Arcade Edition 2012, or what they did with uh, Street Fighter Cross Tekken 2013. So
I could have sworn that they said they weren't gonna re-release any
they
upgraded
said
editions.
they weren't going to like re-release a new version of the game instead of just patching it. But I'm not proposing a new version of the game. I'm proposing they re-release it, say it's Super Street Fighter 5, and just include all of the characters, all the content that came out until then. So all the costumes, all the game modes, all the characters. Because then,
Well,
if you do that and you aggressively market it, more people will buy it. Like the same thing Mortal Kombat did with Mortal Kombat XL, basically.
supposedly, whatever version this is, that may actually have Akuma in it. Because another thing Ono said was Akuma wasn't officially confirmed.
He's bullshitting. How do you show?
It's the weird.
How do you show the heaven
Exactly.
symbol at the end of a trailer? Oh, hold on, we never said it was Akuma.
Well, he said it was never confirmed for Street Fighter V, so that could be something with Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Maybe not. It might just be Ono trying to bullshit people again because he's known to do it. If anybody remembers the
Maybe.
Darkstalkers is Alive image that he was fucking
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
fucking.
Maybe it is. Maybe hell, for all we know, it could be fucking promotion for Tekken 7.
No.
I mean, because
That
Akuma's in Tekken
I
7.
mean, he's in it, but like everybody's like over it.
Yeah.
Like
Uh, I mean, I'm looking forward to Tekken 7.
I'm looking forward to it as well, but it's not a big deal right now. Like,
Yeah,
okay, Akuma's in it. All right, cool. The game has been in arcade for like a
when
year.
does
We
that
still
come
don't
out?
have it. February, I believe.
Well, it's good to know that there is a release date because I honestly had no idea. But I really feel it's Street Fighter V appeals to the core Street Fighter audience, and that's good. The problem is though, it's like it. I feel it really only appeals to the Street Fighter audience and like anybody in the FGC. Because I don't know anybody outside of the FGC who are like, oh yeah, Street Fighter 5. Can't wait
Well,
for whatever update.
and the sales figures, I don't think the sales figures have ever accounted for digital sales. So like Steam sales, you got to get those numbers directly from either Valve or from Capcom. So I'm pretty
Well,
sure the
yeah,
game
that's
sold really well on PC, but it's just they don't add that to the number of physical copies the PS4 sold.
well,
Didn't
that's the problem. Well, that's the
they admit
problem.
that didn't Capcom admit that it sold under their expectations? I might be remembering wrong.
Capcom has
No,
been known to
no, they
set
did.
unrealistic expectations for all of their games, so I'm not surprised that it
Well,
was.
supposedly. Well, this is the thing though. Supposedly, from my understanding, it sold worse than Pokken.
No, no, Pokken sold like trash.
Well, that's the thing. Like, from my understanding, it did sell worse than Pokken, or at least it sold around Pokken's level, which is gotta be sickening
Mm.
because it's just it. Maybe it like again. I'm not a big fan of Street Fighter. I don't want the games to come out and do bad because I don't. It's not like Street Fighter dying off gives me any pleasure or anything. Believe me. But I do want to see something else come out of this. Maybe they'll be able to turn it around. Maybe they'll release some kind of mode or something that's like gets everybody into the game. I don't know. I've got no idea. But uh, I can't. Master of fucking master of continuing conversations. Please lead the conversation over into the next topic.
All right. Well, we talk about a franchise that should keep going. Let's talk about a
Damn
franchise that should stop.
it. Okay, let's. I'll bring it up. So, news hit like sometime this week. Code Geass gets a new sequel anime and a compilation film trilogy. And
Code Geass
I'll read.
Overstate is fucking welcome.
Hang on. Let me read. Actually read to you the quote or the caption for this. Code Geass, Lelouch of the Resurrection, takes place several years after Zero Requiem Plan. If I'm remembering right, because it's been quite some time since I watched Code Geass. The Zero Requiem Plan was where Zero, or Suzaku at the time, spoilers, sorry for whoever hasn't watched Code Geass, you should have watched it by now, what's wrong with you? Suzaku runs up and kills Lelouch and assumes the identity of Zero.
Well, he didn't kill Lelouch.
No, it's unquestionable. He's dead.
Well, they never
I don't know
confirmed
how
the kill.
people. I don't know how people can keep going and say, "Oh, he didn't actually die." There was a sword through the man's chest. He was dead.
Nah, you can survive a sword through the chest. Come
But
on now.
apparently, I'm wrong because the title of it is called Code Geass: Lelouch of the Resurrection. Oh,
It just
this
Code
means
I
Geass
feel this is
Overstate
a
is
terrible.
fucking welcome.
somebody's gonna get a
I-
Geass that can bring back the dead.
I have
It's well, first of all, Code Geass was a show that wasn't even a fucking mecha,
What are you talking about?
and they
Yeah,
put
like
fucking mechas in it.
yeah, the initial manga was not a mecha, and the manga was less about Lelouch and Suzaku and more about Colin. I think Colin, if I remember right, because I checked out a few chapters of it, Colin was the main character, and it was still about a revolution and stuff, but it was more about Colin, and they didn't really have nightmare frames. I think the nightmares were added for the anime, and it was turned like almost entirely from a shoujo manga, because I remember it being shoujo, into a seinen manga or seinen anime. So
And to be quite honest, Code Geass is fucking boring without the nightmares.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. That's
It
No,
really is.
Code
I
Geass would
have
be
to
boring
agree.
without the Geass.
no, I feel I don't agree with that. I think Lelouch himself. I think Lelouch was a good character. I really do. I can't speak for like all the small parts of it because, like I said, I watched this years ago, and I might just be wearing those rose tinted goggles when it comes back to this. But I remember Lelouch being a very good character. I remember liking just about everybody from the main cast. I like Colin to some degree. She wasn't my favorite, but to some degree. Suzaku got better as the show went on. And of course, everybody likes C2. That's without question. I don't know. I feel this is a really, really bad idea. Like, you know how Hawkwind, you know how you always mention the feeling you have if they were to bring back Char and Amuro. I feel that is this for me.
If
I think this is a terrible idea.
Well, yeah. Well, it's they know that certain people wanted it. They know people will fucking pay for it. And like Felix just fucking joked, it's a fucking if. It is because they're gonna bring them back. They're gonna bring back Armor and Shaw one day. They're bringing back fucking Lelouch. Cause it's gonna fucking print money. Who makes Code Geass? Sunrise?
Yeah, Sunrise.
Oh yeah, well there you go.
you know, I just considered it, and Code Geass without the mecha would just be Big Order, so it would be a boring JoJo clone.
Oh yeah. Well, no, that wasn't even Big Order's entire problem was the fact that no surprise, badly written, badly animated, and again, this is going to come off kind of an asshole, but the writer of Big Order, his best work was Future Diary, which when you go back and you read it with all the knowing all the inconsistencies and whatnot and how much they've been pointed out, it makes it very unfun to watch because like most of the inconsistencies that are pointed out are true. But I'm rambling about Big Order. I'm not worried about that. Point is, there's going to be more Code Geass. If they wanted to do more Code
I wouldn't
Geass
mind if it was
stuff,
just
I really
the
feel
film, the compilation film. 'Cause
yeah,
they'll do that.
compilation film, whatever. You want to drain it for blood, go ahead. Fucking make a compilation film, update the animation, make it look even better cuz it looked pretty good initially, but make it look even better. Add more Spinzaku memes because those weren't dead like 10 years ago. Whatever, do whatever you want, but a sequel? Come on.
I don't even know if who directed Code Geass because it seems like everybody has moved on. I think the fans have moved on. Code Geass was hot like 10 years ago.
The director for it was Goro Taniguchi, and let me see. I'm not very good with this kind of stuff, but let's see. He also directed S. Cry Ed.
What
And
was the latest thing that he's directed?
let's see. The latest thing he directed, Active Raid.
Oh, well, see, there you go. He doesn't have he doesn't have the talent to direct
Well,
something
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
on the level of Code Geass season 1. Season 2 was
Some
okay
people
at best.
some people like season 2 more than season 1. I don't know why. I don't, but some people did. But
It's everybody's moved on. I think the people who worked on Code Geass have moved on. The fans don't really care anymore. Sure, they'll show up in Super Robot Wars every
That's
now and then.
wrong. You know, it's not about selling it to a new market. It's about selling it to nostalgia. And it's been
the
just
thing is,
long enough.
it's been surprisingly Code Geass has been what 10 years now.
Yeah,
It has been 10 years, right?
essentially.
But I don't think that people will rejoice for a continuation of Code Geass as they would another series that came out 10 years ago.
Well, you're
I
wrong.
think the people who liked it when it was out they were really fucking into it. But as time went on, people moved on to different shit. I don't see people fucking praising fucking Code Geass 10 years later, saying it's the best shit ever.
Well, just
It's
come
not.
on, hey.
You mean it's not what Death Note is.
It's not.
Come on now.
What? Look, I love Death Note.
I don't think it's a Gurren Lagann. That's what I think. I don't think it's a Gurren Lagann. I don't think it's a Dragon Ball Z. I don't think it's a.
It's a Death Note.
It doesn't have legacy
It's a
behind
Death
it.
Note.
It's
That's what it is. You have the
Well-
smart but ambiguously evil main character. The first
Well, light
season
by
is
the
better
end,
than
it's-
the first half is better than the latter half. Though it has an ending that makes up for the latter half, and basically that's it.
Well, ultimately, I think they should just move on. Just cancel the whole idea of this. I think they should just cancel the idea of this new Code Geass. But speaking of cancel, God, that was horrible. I'm not good at segues. Anyway, we got our thoughts out about that. I just want to bring up something else. This is just a topic piece, by the way, just to talk about something in general. Anyway, Inori Minase cancels her events after receiving death threats online. So this the reason I put this on the document is just to talk about like the state of idols in Japan, as opposed to Inori Minase. BT Dubs, for anybody who doesn't know, she was the voice of Rem in ReZero. But this is becoming weirdly common. Things like this, and I don't know why. Like idols keep getting more like death threats and like people running up to them. I think it was a little over like maybe sometime during the summer, maybe about almost 6 months ago or so, that an idol had actually gotten off of her train and she was going to some event. Some guy was sending her chocolates and like favors and stuff, and she didn't reply to him. She just sent them back. And the guy went crazy and actually ran up and stabbed her like 20 times, and like 20 times in the stomach and like twice in the throat or something.
Did
and
she
she was in
die?
intensive. No, I think she survived actually.
It was extremely painful.
But I think she survived. I'd have to check up on that. I can't even remember which idol it was. She might have actually been a voice actor. I'm pretty sure it's no one who's big to.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it's no one
this
big.
entire situation is a combination of multiple things. Number one, people not being able to fucking separate the fantasy from reality.
Alright.
People will imprint an image of a person or a thing onto a target of their desire, be it a fucking idol or fucking president, whatever, and they'll fucking go to extremes when the fucking image is shattered. Like when was it the other girl who fucking had to shave her fucking hair because she had a boyfriend? It was fucking retarded.
Well, that was partial. That was that's weird. That one's weird. I think that was stupid. I agree with you 100%. She shouldn't have had to do that. But the reason for that was because when idols start being idols, they usually sign contracts and stuff with their company that say that they can't date. They're not allowed to date outside of they're not allowed to date almost in general unless they basically ask the fans if they can date. So she was doing that as repentance, and again, I think it was stupid. But there are cases where idols can get by with stuff like that. Like, well, she wasn't an idol, but she was a voice actress. Kana Asami, who was the voice of Nyaruko from Hayori Nyaruko. She actually got married, and the fans were really happy. They congratulated her and stuff. But I just don't understand what's going on with the fans in Japan. And I actually completely agree with Hawkwing. It's the fact that people get these images of people in their minds and think that they're some kind of like higher beings, which at the end of the day people need to remember. These people are just people. Like, they're going to mess up and stuff. And I get the fact that Japan is very serious with the idea that if you're an idol, you're setting an image for everybody who's watching you. You need to be pure, you need to be steadfast, and you need to be strong and healthy and etc. But at the end of the day, maybe it's just me. I'd rather have somebody to look up to and be like, that guy's great, but he's also a person just like me. He makes mistakes, but he gets back up and keeps going.
You know, I think that this trend, this latest trend is actually because two factors. One, Japan is too damn small. You can't talk shit and get away with it because nigga can just hop on a train and show up at your house. And two, I don't think I don't know if it's the idols or their fucking peace sign, producer sign. These niggas are pussies. They don't hire security. They don't do nothing like that. You're just like, you gotta apologize. You gotta say sorry. You gotta don't upset your fans. Like, what the fuck? In other countries, they can do whatever. Yo, in India, in Bollywood, these niggas can fucking spit on the angry fan who shows up with a knife. And he gets beat up, yo. But in Japan, they're so polite. Their culture is so different. It's
Well, that's the thing. It is an entirely different planet because it's like, I mean, look at one of our top stars is like in America right now is like Robert Downey Jr. And you look at his past, look at the shit he's done. He was like, if I'm remembering right, don't quote me on all this, but he was actually Tony Stark before he was Tony Stark. Womanizer, alcoholic, possibly drugs, and yet
Well,
he's
no,
like,
he
"We're
was on
top
drugs.
star."
He was, I think he was on
fucking
crack
pill
cocaine.
popper.
So
Crack.
yeah, he's
Well,
a
not
big
crack, but
star.
he was on cocaine, I believe.
He's a big star in America, and it's like if he did all that and then was trying to be a star in Japan, I'm pretty sure that would not fly. And I know again, it's we don't understand the culture, but it seems really ass backwards to me. Speaking of, fuck it. Moving on. So Gynax West is teasing a possible panty and stockings announcement.
A little too
Okay.
late.
No, it's not too late. They set up a sequel. Now they're doing a sequel. I don't have a
They
problem
set
with
up a
that. It's not
sequel, what,
controversy.
6 years ago? It was 6 years
Who
ago.
cares, y'all? Who
It
cares?
was, hold up, it's not a legacy title.
What do you? It
It's
doesn't
not.
matter. It's a legacy title. This is autism,
I think
y'all. It's rather
that
straight up.
it's not. It's
They
really not.
wanted a
It's
sequel, and now they're doing a sequul.
now they have a sequel. Nobody's gonna care about it. It's gonna
Everybody's gonna
flop.
care about it. It's not gonna flop. You're fucking retarded. You don't know how you don't know how consumer interest carries over, y'all.
I want to
That's what it
say
is.
that I feel that panty and stocking. I have absolutely no idea how. Like, how did panty and stocking not get an English dub on Adult Swim?
It's a little
Maybe it
too
did in another
raunchy
part
for
of the
Adult
world.
Swim.
Really?
You know how you know how Americans are with fucking sex on TV. You can
I mean,
show
well,
all the violent shit you want, but if it's fucking this girl's rubbing her fucking bare ass coochie on the stripper pole, you can't show that. Not even.
well,
at
no,
night.
because I mean, they show stuff like that in Family Guy. Of course, it's played off as a joke there, but it's played off as a joke in Panty and Stocking. I mean, admittedly, Panty and Stocking's entire thing is to be totally raunchy, but when you go back and watch it, I mean, they have tons of sex jokes, tons of weird metaphors and euphemisms, but in actuality, there's not anything, and it's going to sound weird, 100% explicit. Like, you don't see any, like, actual cooch or any, like, nipples or
Well, of
anything.
course not, because then it wouldn't air in Japan either.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel it's like the most American influenced manga, and because it was a manga at one point, I read a little bit of it, an anime that came out in like recent memory. And there's one thing that I'll definitely say about Panty and Stocking. It probably has one of the most unique art styles for an anime in a long time. It feels like it feels like it wants to be like a cartoon, like so bad that it's like, hey, look, we have cartoon art style. But my point is, I don't feel it reached its fan base correctly. I don't feel like Hawkwing said, I don't feel it's reached enough of a mainstay point to say, hey, we're gonna make another one, and fans will be like, yeah. It's not like a new Gundam or a new JoJo.
Disagree.
Well,
Another
hold
Naruto.
on.
I
Well,
definitely
Gundam
disagree.
fans hate Gundam, so I don't understand why you would say that. Me included.
You know what I mean. It's not like something that can come back after like a couple of years and then everybody will
Yes,
drop
it,
their
it
will drop
definitely
trout.
can. You can say that, but it's essentially the same as how they delayed the anime sequel to your one of your favorite series, or what was it? The one with Alan.
Dex.
No, the one with Alan.
Oh,
Gray
D Gray
Man?
Man.
Yeah, they
Well,
delayed
I
that
feel
sequel for 10 years, so
that's most that I honestly don't really know how that happened, but
It's the same thing. Or how they delayed the sequel for Berserk for 20 years.
Surprise, surprise, the fan base fucking hate it. It's shit.
That's because
People
the
realize that
animation
it's
was
fucking
shit.
shit.
But you see
yeah,
the
but
It's
see,
fucking
not just
for some
Blu-ray,
reason,
it's
yeah,
besides the point.
the
The
Blu-ray
animation
makes
shit,
it.
they skip shit that they should have been doing, but that's besides the point. Panty and Stocking is a series. It's okay. It's Panty and Stocking. All right, make another season. I doubt
yeah,
people are gonna fucking care about it. They had the
maybe wrong.
chance when people were fucking hooked on that shit. And like, what was it 2000,
12,
2013, 2012?
Something
People
like
somewhere
hooked
that.
around.
on it. People loved it. And
Yeah, I
people were
remember.
waiting for the sequel. Oh man, it's fucking great. Oh, I can't wait to see what happens fucking
And
next.
you also have to consider that it's Gynax. People eat up the shit from Gynax's Borutos like Trigger. Of course they'll eat up the shit from Gynax.
Well, when it comes to panty and stalking, I remember a friend of ours actually being super into it, like really intensely, like to the point where he was waiting for the next season. I don't know. I don't know. It seems kind of like a risky venture to me. I don't.
There's no risk in this whatsoever. This is gonna be pure profit,
Well,
pure
that's the
ratings
thing.
glory.
Again, like you said, it's Gynax, and Gynax usually has decent animation at least, and it's panty and stocking, so they're going to continue the series. Maybe it's all the people who watched panty and stocking a couple of years ago, like myself, Hawkwing, and our other friend. Well, Hawkwing's probably, I can tell Hawkwing's not super into it, but maybe some people from our generation who watch that anime will see a new panty and stocking and tune right back in, and it'll get new fans in. Maybe it'll come over to America with a big boom, and it'll become super popular, because I don't hate the series. I don't hate Panty and Stocking. It's a raunchy magical girl show. I mean, there's not really much for me to hate there. But maybe it'll come over here. Maybe it'll do it. You don't know. You can't really tell how these things are going to play out just by guessing. But on to the next topic, because unless you guys have anything else you want to say about that.
Nope. I will say that I never watched the original Panty and Stocking, except do AMVs count? Do fucking dojins count?
Well, if you want, well, let's be fair. If you read a Dojin, a Panty and Stocking, you
you
basically
basically
understand.
watched the show.
Yeah, you basically watch the show. So, all right, let's move on to. This is a small thing. It'll probably be quick, but I just brought it up because I know how much you guys like a certain novel that's in this group. But it's called Kono Light Novel Sugoi. It's one of those.
Sounds
It's like
like
a light
shit.
novel ranking. It's a light novel ranker. Like they release one like every year, I think, and they count down like best characters, best female character, best male character, best plot, best etc. Blah blah blah, etc. So this year, on the list of things, it's really just so that we can talk about some of the series that we really like, because there's a series on here that you two really like. Let me just count down the top ones. Number one is Ryuo no Oshigoto. I actually haven't read that.
Nobody knows what that is.
I actually have no idea what that is, surprisingly. ReZero is number two, of
Nobody
course.
knows
I
what
have
the
that
fuck
novel.
ReZero
Index is actually up there. Woohoo!
Sounds
Very
like it's a lot
surprised.
of shit taste on there.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that Index is still in like the tops, considering the fact that Index has been around for more than 10 years. It's like I'm still surprised it's still ongoing.
I don't
Number
see how it got popular in the first place. I honestly think the
Because it
Index is
has
a
cute girls
mediocre
in
show
it.
at best.
You have waifus
Well,
in
that's the
anything,
thing.
you can make it popular.
I'll say this as a huge fan of Index, and I'll be frank. Most of Index is pretty mediocre, but that's the thing. I feel Index is the kind of series where it will stay. Index can sit at a solid 6.5 forever, and then jump up occasionally to an 8, and then drop back down to a 6.5 and never really go below that. Except for the second arc in it. The second arc was garbage. in the original Index. But I feel Index is one of those series that can hold like a solid base and not really get any worse. And almost all of the Index spin-off stuff, like a certain accelerator, a certain scientific accelerator, and a certain scientific railgun, are incredible. Especially railgun. Railgun's great. It makes Mikasa. Oh, God, I hate doing that. It makes Misaka so much more likable because she has awesome fights, and of course you guys know, and anybody who knows me knows, Accelerator is just hands down one of my favorite characters. Like I really like Accelerator a lot. But enough of me jerking off to the Index novels. We can skip number 4. Number 5.
No, we can't. I think
What
we
is
need
number
to
4?
discuss number 4.
Number
Sword Art
4 is
Online.
it's
One of the greatest shows by Reki Kawahara. The OG.
Yes, one of his greatest. Let's move on. Number 5.
I really don't understand why Sword Art Online gets the amount of animosity that it does.
Moving on.
Is it a bad show?
Moving on.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
You're not gonna trigger me, okay? I'm just gonna.
Moving
Not for
on.
actually good show.
Goblin Slayer.
Ah, there we go.
Goblin
Slayer is number 5. Which
I don't understand why it's number 5.
well, it's number 5 mostly because it doesn't have the tenure of the others, from my understanding. But I can't say that with Ryu no Oshigoto or whatever that one is at the top. But Goblin Slayer, yeah, okay, cool. That's pretty cool. The good thing about that is I really stand by this. Give it about a year or 2 years, that will have an anime. I'm serious. I know it will. It's too popular right now. What company I would want to do that? I kind of want Bones to do that.
I don't want Bones anywhere near.
No, because Bones has great animation and they have killer soundtracks. That's without question. Bones is the most killer.
I don't want this to be fucking epic soundtrack. I'm fucking look at my fucking because it's not about that really. Most of the action in Goblin Slayer comes from the setup and the strategy, and not from him just fucking. Look how fast I'm punching. I'm turning to black and white. My outline is fucking heavy and fucking shaky. Nah, that would be pretty bad.
That wouldn't be Bones. Bones is the group that does like Eureka 7, dude. And Eureka 7, incredible. Come on.
Didn't just do
I'll take
Eureka 7.
My point is, if you want a good company to do it, it would be Bones. It's like, who else? Because Sunrise isn't gonna do it. They have like a bajillion animes on their plate when they have to get back to doing Tiger and Bunny, because guess what? Everybody fucking wants them to do Tiger and Bunny.
First of all, Sunrise wouldn't do it because there's no mechas in Goblin Slayer.
They do other things that aren't mecha.
Name one.
Name one.
Oh shit, they actually called me out on this.
Moving on.
The rest of those
look like garbage.
The rest of them are ignorable. I just wanted to really talk about Goblin Slayer.
Konosuba is not ignorable.
Konosuba's Konosuba. I actually Konosuba is one of those things where I will enjoy it, but I'm not gonna get too hype over it because it's not going anywhere. I mean, I enjoy Konosuba a lot.
What do you mean by that? There's progress. I mean, there's not story progress, but there's character progress. Which in these types of series, that is just like comedy focused around the characters, just like Gintama, it's all about the character progression and not about the overall plot progression.
Hold up, because Gintama actually has
It
an
has
overarching story.
you see it so few and far between that it's basically irrelevant. You can hop in at any point in the
Do you
series.
watch Gintama? That is factually incorrect.
It-
As somebody who has been following it since the beginning, who was current on the anime and getting current on the manga.
I don't think that I don't think Konosuba is something that I really like. I'll say this: if if the light novel was coming out over in America, I probably wouldn't buy it. And that's coming from somebody who's right now just buying tons and tons. I'm stacking light novels at this point. I've got fucking Devils Apart Timer, Excel World, Strike the Blood. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in the Dungeon and ReZero, as well as the Isolator sitting on my shelf right now. But I don't feel Konosuba is the kind of light novel I would pick up, and maybe it's the fact that I can't really. I don't know. It's going to sound again kind of snobbish, but I can't get behind a comedy show's plot. I can't get behind a comedy show's plot. And it's not to take away from comedy shows. It's not saying that they're bad. It's just I can't personally get behind the plot of a comedy show. And it might just be the fact that I'm kind of spoiled to that. Because it's like I think of comedy shows now as I think of them a lot as Bobobo. And I know a lot of people think Bobobo's dumb. Hang on. I know a lot of people think Bobobo is dumb. And I think Bobobo is dumb. I know Bobobo is dumb. But, you know, I can't really think of anything outside of those. Anyway, Konosuba's great. I'm not big on it. It's not like one of my favorites. I'm sorry. It's not bad. Just not. I don't really care much for it.
Your taste in light novel is like old milk, my nigga.
Maybe. I like what I like. I like what I like. But let's move on to top male characters or top popular male characters. Number one is not surprisingly Index because the thing is Toma, dude, Toma usually ends up as like number one. Like he's been number one, I think he's been number one for like 2 or 3 years in a row. Let's move on to number 3. Okay. Number 3 is number 3.
The number again. I see.
I can't count to. I don't know why. I don't know what number. I don't know what that number after 1 is. Number 3 is Accelerator, who again he often ends up on the top 10 lists for male characters too. Usually he's usually either number 3 or number 2. Shit. Natsuki Subaru for number 4.
I don't understand how you can have
like
Subaru. I don't see. I don't see how you can actually say that that's like your favorite character.
It's just he's just a popular male character. It's not even like these aren't like these aren't. Oh, these characters are so incredible, etc. It's really just they're popular.
It's the same problem I have with popularity contest that Atlas does for Persona 4, or for Persona, and the main characters of 3 and 4 are like the most popular. They're in the top 5. Like, how can you fucking actually? Oh man, the main character, i.e. the self-insert, i.e. myself, I'm gonna vote for him.
Well, that's
the self-insert argument doesn't really work for Persona anymore because, it doesn't work for them because they're their own characters now.
It doesn't. They're their own people now. But this is the thing when it comes to voting for like characters specifically. Like almost every time I've seen people vote for characters specifically, or like vote for like who's your favorite character from this series, it's usually going to end up with like the main character being pretty high up in most cases because most people. Just like there's a lot of people, or at least the vast majority of people, who are just like, oh, the main character is really cool for this series. He's kind of the reason I've stuck around up to this point. And I'm not going to say, I still don't think Subaru's a bad character. I like Subaru a lot. I wouldn't have voted for him, obviously. But I like Subaru. I can see why he would end up in the top 10. Not as high as he should be, but I can definitely see why he would end up in the top 10. I feel I understand why. But next is Hachiman from I can't remember the shortened version of that. It's just this. It's this one series. My youth romantic comedy is wrong. There's a shortened version of that, but that one's pretty good. Hachimon is really popular. I don't know why that novel's not on there. I have to sit down and actually go through that, by the way. Let's see. Next is Ninja Slayer from Ninja Slayer. After that is Tatsuya Shiba, which it's Jesus, Tatsuya Shiba. Anyway, next is Kazuma from Konosuba, Sora from No Game No Life, and some character named Kyosuke Shiroyama from Mito Shoken Blood Sign. I don't know what that is.
Well, the thing about light novels is that I think even if you are a fan of anime, even if you are a fan of manga, I don't think most American fans, myself included, really care about light novels.
They don't.
No, they don't. They don't. It's light novels are a niche of a niche. The reason I read them is because there's a lot of light novels that I like that probably aren't going to get another anime, like Excel World. And I'm sorry, there's a lot of light novels that I like that probably aren't going to get another anime, and then there's some people who feel the same way, or they just want to get ahead of where they of the animes and whatnot. So I can understand that, but I also understand you guys' side of the thing where you don't want to read a light novel because it's like you'd rather watch the anime, and I completely understand.
Fucking pictures.
It's not about not wanting to read the light novel. It's just that most of the time you hear about these series through the animes or through the mangas, and they're easy. They're definitely easier to consume in that way. But I don't know. It's the same it's the same as certain comics. How people will not read the comic, but they'll wait for the movie to come out.
Yeah, I can, like I said, I completely get it. I get it. I get why people wouldn't want to read these light novels. I'm kind of a mark when it comes to Dengeki anyway, so I basically read almost anything they'll put out to some degree. But I want to move just a step forward, move a little bit onward. Just a tad onto the female characters. Number one female character is Mikoto Misaka. Again, another character who usually always ends up at the top. That's her. I think she's been the top for like 5 straight years or something. Number 2 is Rem. Big surprise from ReZero. Number 3 is Megumin from Konosuba. Again, no big surprise. Number 4 is... Shit, I walked right into that. Number 4 is... Number 4 is Asuna from Sword Art. Number 5 is Yukino from blah blah blah, etc. Snafu romantic comedy. Number 6 is Megami Kato from Saikano, which I'll never ever have you guys watch ever. You trust me.
Oh, okay.
Number 7 is the White Queen from Mito Shoken Blood Sign. I have to look that up. I have to see what that's like. Number 8's Amelia from ReZero. Number 9 is Index, and number 10 is Orthinus. I cannot remember how to pronounce her name because they probably pronounced it weird in the Index series. Also, I can't remember who that is. Is that I'm wondering if that was that one black chick.
Well,
probably not, right? No. It's that one witch girl.
I think. I don't think there's anything more to discuss on this topic.
No, absolutely nothing. We're about at the last topic anyway. This one I just added because it's funny. So, there's this weird occupation in Japan, or I guess it's not really an occupation? Anyway, it's this thing where women will go under into the water, and they'll carry buckets with them, or like these weird wooden bucket thingies, and they'll use them and bring pearls up from like the bottom of the water and stuff. A while back, I think about a year or two, there was this company or something, and they created this character for it. This character is like, typical anime girl, kawaii, 16-year-old high school girl with super long hair. She had a slight tan, etc. And the women who were actually there, when they saw the character, they were pissed because the typical build for one of those women are relatively, not super, but relatively heavy set for a Japanese woman. Relatively heavy set woman. They're usually older, like actually kind of old, surprisingly. And they weren't like these pretty little girls. And they took huge offense to this because they said, that's not what one of us look like. We aren't these little tiny pixie women. We're big, strong women. Change that shit. And I swear that they actually got so up in arms about this that they actually removed the character from existence. But now I'm seeing a lot of stuff for her, and even weirder, the character is going to have some kind of weird fundraising promo anime. I just brought that up because I thought it was kind of funny. But it does kind of bring up a point where they do this a lot in Japan. Like, in order to have people sign up for the Japanese Special Defense Force, they actually had another cute anime girl. And the funny thing is, I think they said it raised the sign-up rate by like 15% or something.
Well, they know the audience. They know what type of person is gonna go, and they'll see the fucking character and like, oh, okay, well, character's cute. That's gonna inspire me to go and do whatever these people want me to do. And I don't really think that's a problem with that. You gotta know your fucking audience. You gotta know your fucking citizens of Japan, the people that you need to go in the fucking workforce. They sit at home watching fucking anime all day. So what do? You fucking make an anime that's gonna make these motherfuckers and go do what you want them to do. It's fucking business. Can't get mad at that.
It's like
it's funny to me.
It's gonna get people to support local businesses.
It's funny to me. It's funny to me because it reminds me of a couple of years ago, or like a year ago, where Hawkwing came to me and told me about a book he saw in his library. You remember that book, Hawkwing?
It wasn't the library. It was Barnes and Noble, and I know what you're talking about.
It was Anime-chan. Anime-chan teaches you calculus or something.
It was like the manga guide to calculus, and it was just like,
and it had like
an
a cute
anime girl on it.
It's
and
great.
Like the pages have like these anime characters fucking encouraging you to fucking do the problems and shit. I don't think they were really thinking when they made that shit in fucking America.
I loved the way you came back and you were like, "Hey Akuma, I found this book for you. Did you ever want to learn how to fucking do calculus?" And it was like, yes, this works for me perfectly. No, but they do this a lot in Japan, and it's a type of marketing that's ingenious for their country because they know exactly who they're, like Hawkwing said, they know exactly who they're appealing to. But it kind of, if you think about it, ties a little bit back to one of our previous topics of Japan just being fucking taken away with characters and whatnot and a fantasy. And I guess it also ties back to a discussion we had a long time ago about Japan's consistently dying birth rate. Japan's a weird place, man.
I don't see what this has to do with the birth rate, but Okay.
Well, that's the thing. I think it does kind of have to do with the birth rate, but it has to do also with the fact that, of course, everybody blames Japan's dying birth rate on anime
See,
because
what
people
they
do
should
this a
do is
lot.
make an anime character who encourages unprotected sex.
No, no, actually, Jesus Christ, I'm glad you brought this up.
Uh-oh.
I didn't add it to the document, but another thing they have in Japan recently started was they've had Sailor Moon start. Sailor Moon start promoting the use of condoms.
Condom? What the fuck? No,
Yeah,
no, the opposite.
to prevent STIs.
What?
Uh,
You're
the
not gonna
reason
get a fucking. If they're not having sex, they're not gonna get diseases.
there was also another anime a couple of years ago that was about. It was basically anime, the 30-year-old virgin, because it was two 30-year-olds, a man and a woman, and these two sex gods, or I think it was four by the end of it. These four sex gods descended from heaven or wherever the hell it was. I don't know. Anyway, they descended. They were like, "Hey, you guys got to have sex. You guys have been virgins too long." Uh, and it was basically teaching people like the ways to have sex and be safe, and teaching them sexual techniques and stuff. Yeah, the more I think about this, the weirder it gets.
Next, you're gonna tell me that Galco was a character designed to teach females about puberty. That's clearly wrong because she was. Wait a minute.
Oh no, it wasn't. Galco was it was entirely a joke.
Implying.
Well,
It was entirely a joke about the hair on about shaving the hair inside of your butt cheeks so that when people look in your ass, when people scream into your butthole, they don't go, "Oh my God, it's hairier in here than the top of Dr. J's head," or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't fucking know. I don't know what's going on with Japan. I like Japan. I like a lot of their exports, mostly anime, but I like a lot of their exports, and I don't get what's going on with them. Very weird place. Then again, they probably look over here and think the same thing, where it's like, oh, you can have people being decapitated on your television, but if you show a boob, instantly it jumps up to NC-17? I don't get you guys.
Well, they can't show boobs. They can't show tits either. They can't show anything explicit.
Yeah, but they'll show up before we will.
Doubt.
I
Japan's
feel
censorship laws are worse than ours. They just have
Japan's
they have bigger loopholes to get around it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I feel that I feel it's less that they have bigger loopholes. I feel that they've studied the loopholes harder. Like, they were like, we have to make sure that we can get High School DxD out on TV with as much sexuality as possible. What can we do? Have you guys know how, you guys ever notice how when the sun comes in, there are streaks of light and it makes it hard to see at certain angles? Yeah, maybe we should do that with the titties.
Oh yeah, the prison school light. It doesn't make any sense.
The prison school light where for some reason there's a bright white streak coming across the screen despite the fact that it's like 12 at night.
Yo, what if you combine the prison school light with the JoJo shadow?
The prison school light with the JoJo shadow that for some reason like blots out like all of Rohan's back when he's getting his back torn open. Yeah, makes
Blacks
perfect
out all of
sense.
Jotaro's face when he's smoking when he's doing something. I can't tell what he's doing because they blacked it out. Thank goodness.
I can't possibly tell. But then again, would you rather it be blocked out like that, or would you rather it be 4 kids where Sanji had a lollipop?
I don't know why people complain about that because the lollipop added an eccentric, eccentricity, or what am I, the word am I losing? It added flair to Sanji's character, though. Like, oh, he doesn't need to smoke, he just eats lollipops, He probably had addiction, he probably got a nicotine patch, But now, when you watch the original Japanese, oh, he's just a smoker. This nigga will not fight with his hands because he believes that his hands are only good for touching food, so he will never 30 him. But he'll 30 his fucking lungs, right, by being a smoker. Fuck off, Sanji. Fuck you. Just fucking addict.
That did just put a lot of weird and did what puts even weirder shit into perspective? Don't people always say when you smoke you can't taste food correctly?
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's even weirder. I mean, maybe Sanji's the type of cook that doesn't taste his food, but I don't know. I've seen him taste his food while he was cooking. That makes less
It's just
sense.
one of those things it's overlooked because it's a kid's show. It's not.
Yeah,
He smokes. It's alright, but it's still a kid's show. They're not gonna say fucking smoking mess your lungs up.
I mean, yeah, and I guess it's pretty obvious. I don't think that smoking's as big of a problem in Japan as it would be here. I guess. Because I assume that like the only people who really smoke in Japan are like the people who are.
Everybody smokes in Japan. It's like how America was before the fucking before the Surgeon General said, "Wait a minute, smoking is bad."
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll smoke in Japan. Like normal people will smoke at karaoke, just like normal, like fucking the hottest ass high school girls will be smoking there. It's stupid.
You said hottest ass high school girls. Anyway, we're I guess that's about it for today.
Yeah.
We went through all of our topics, and we got to a pretty good point. I think we can stop now. So, any closing statements, people? Closing statements would be
None from me. Like I said, all that needed to be said.
I guess I'll say, I guess this is Akuma Soul, and just, again, Akuma Soul, the person who just talked was Hawkling. Felix?
Oh, hold up. I want y'all hit up my new YouTube, Hawkaiser, HAWKAISER, Xenoverse 2 gameplay, Blaze Blue gameplay.
Their channel.
I'm gonna
description.
I'm gonna make a Hawkaiser account, and you're just gonna be uploading MLP shit. I'm gonna make.
I already made the account.